to be working Georgia out today. Like always, she's always the go-to to do the workouts. But for our equipment today, we're going to need a kettlebell, which doesn't necessarily need to be a kettlebell, can be a dumbbell as well, or that soup can or water bottle. And then we have 2 dumbbells as well on the lighter side. We're going to be doing some dumbbell reverse flies. And then we have a resistance band here. So about medium resistance for some lateral banded walks, and then some banded bicycles at the very end. So we do have a little something new today, and we're gonna try it out, I believe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. At the very end of our entire workout, that third cardio set, instead of doing our cardio, we're gonna do a quick little Tabata session. So just like an all-out effort of about 4 different exercises, just kind of like this max effort with very minimal 10-second break in between.
Yes, this is for you, Alex and Fred, so you better be
yep,
watching.
Had some requests for it. But grab your equipment, and George is going to run you guys through a little warm-up.
Yep. So we'll start off with the hip flow this week. We are going to extend on to the end of it. Maybe a couple weeks ago, we did that where we added some more onto it, so we'll do that again today. But we'll start like normal, just rolling the neck side to side. We'll do 6 times each direction. Just ease into our morning here, or afternoon, whatever time you're tuning in and watching this video. Roll those shoulders backwards. We'll separate those feet a little bit, hands on hips, and we'll do our hip circles. Make sure we practice breathing, so we'll reverse these. So keep that breath flowing. Try not to hold your breath during any part of the hip flow. All right, we'll go to our tall reach. Fingertips pressing up, pressing up. We're trying to get on our toes here too, which might throw your balance off, like it just did to me there. That's okay. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go down to the floor, or if you have a mat. I'm going to press into downward dog. You can sit the weight into those heels. Mine can't quite touch, maybe yours can. Come all the way up. Push back. Come back up again. Little twist here if you feel like you need it. On this third one now, we're going to raise that left heel into the air and then step it through between the hands. Left hand to left knee, and we'll press out 6 times. We'll drive that elbow into the chest and then reach the hand up to the sky. As always, the eye stays on the hand when we do this. Then we'll stand up, leaving that front foot where it was positioned. The back foot will be rotated 90 degrees from there. We'll lunge over each leg. Make sure the torso twists, so whatever leg you're lunging over, your torso is also pointed in that direction. All right, hands come back down, and that right hip will swing down and around. 6 times. And now we'll go back to our downward dogs. And I mentioned it before, but if you just want to come to this position instead of all the way up, that's fine too. Just see how that back feels and what's going to be best for it. So this time the right foot is going to be the one stepping up and through. Right hand to right knee, and we'll press out 6 times. Drive right elbow into chest, and then the right hand goes up to the sky. Letting my whole body twist as I do this. Now we'll stand up, and we will have the right foot this time planted, stays there. Left foot 90 degrees. And we'll lunge over each side. If these throw you off balance a little bit, that is okay. Just kind of recenter and jump back in. Hands on either side of that right foot and that left hip will swing down and around. All right. So now we're going to go back to our downward dogs. And this time, after this third one, we're going to leave one hand planted. I'm going to leave my right hand planted, and I'm going to bring my right foot through. So now my chest is facing towards the sky. More accurately, my chest is actually going to be facing you guys towards the wall, and it's my hips that I'm going to try to keep facing towards the sky. I'll bring that free hand up. I'm going to press the hips towards the sky. I call these break dancers. There's some of Craig's dance moves out on the dance floor, I believe. Switch sides, and we'll do 6 on this side. We can bring that right hand around, and this time instead of downward dog, we're going to have a much wider stance with our legs, and we'll push back. These are called wide stance pushbacks. So just do 3 of those to break up the set. From here, I'm going to take an arm, rotate it up, and I'm actually going to alternate these ones. So we're going to do 6 to each side. Trying to let my eyes follow my hand so that I'm getting that really good torso rotation. And I lost count, but we'll call that 6. Let's go back to our wide stance pushbacks, 3 of these. Now this next move is my favorite. We'll walk the hands out just about 6 inches or so. I'm going to take my right foot, I'm going to kick it between my left foot and hand. So as I land, my right heel is by my left knee. I want to keep my chest square to the floor, and I'm going to do a couple push-ups here. I'll do 6 of these. If you're not feeling this in the hips, just give that torso a little bit more rotation. I'll bring that right foot back to where it was, and now my left foot is going to kick through to my right side. So I kick through. You guys can't see it, but now my left heel is by my right knee, and I'll do the presses here. 6 of these. Good. And we will finish this off with 3 of those wide stance pushbacks. Good. So we should be nice and warm, ready for Craig to run us through the workout.
All right. Thanks, George. You're going to have to work on those break dancers a little. I'm better at those than you.
It's fair.
All right. First exercise, and we're going a minute on each side, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to grab our kettlebell. Again, if you have a dumbbell, that works just fine. We're doing a corkscrew deadlift. So George is on one foot. She's going to deadlift down, twisting her arm, and as she comes up, she drives that knee and she presses up to the sky with that kettlebell. If you do have a kettlebell, you'll notice that when Georgia goes up to the sky, that kettlebell, the weight of it is up high, and she's just holding the handle. So if you have a dumbbell, you can just hold like the head of the dumbbell, kind of give you a little more balance with that. But we're going to go minute on one side, then we'll switch legs. Then we're going to grab our resistance band, and we're going to do some banded walks. So Georgia's going to be in a little bit of a squat position. She's going to step to the side. Always keeping a little resistance in the band, that way her glutes are staying activated the whole time. If she brings her feet all the way together, she'll lose that resistance and that band kind of sags down there. So keep a little resistance. I love it around the ankles. If you want to make it just a tad harder, you can just put it around your feet. And if you need to make it a little easier, you can move it up to your knees. But around the ankle, around the feet, I think are the best. Going to activate those glutes the most. Alright, third exercise, alternating V-ups. So this is when you're going to be laying on the ground, arms overhead, feet out straight. You're going to crunch up, opposite arm, opposite leg will come and meet in the middle, and we're going to alternate. And to make it a little harder, you'll notice that Georgia isn't touching the ground anymore, but if you do need to place those arms and those legs down in between each rep, please feel free to do that. Definitely make it a little easier, especially for a full minute. Then we're going to grab our 2 dumbbells. We're going to do a dumbbell reverse fly.
We'll do a raise.
Oh, raise and reverse fly, yep. So, Georgia has a little bend in her knees, but she's raising those dumbbells up straight in front of her, and then bringing them out to the side, circling them down. And,
I'm really glad I didn't grab the 10 pounders. That wouldn't have worked.
Alright, and then our 5th exercise, start our Mondays off right. We're going to do burpee to mountain climbers. So, jumping nice and high, coming down to the ground, kick those feet out, push up, jump. Yeah, drive those knees to your chest. I forgot the mountain climber part for a minute. I was like, what is she doing?
I'll do one more.
Push up, mountain climber, so driving the knee to the chest. Then she's going to jump her feet back up and then jump to the sky. There we go. Burpee's the mountain climber. Alright, and for our cardio round, we're going to do we're going to do 2 minutes of line jumps, but 1 minute of lateral and a 2nd minute of forward and backwards. We'll be switching it up a little. Alright, so grab your kettlebell or your dumbbell. We're starting with our corkscrew deadlift.
You brought your timer.
I got it, but I didn't set it.
That's okay. It's progress.
I'll have to run over and grab it. So we'll start in about 13 seconds here. So remember, we're going to be alternating after a minute which leg we're on. All right, 3, 2, 1, begin. Good. So deadlift down. That back leg comes nice and high. So maybe after this, Georgia can rotate and even give you guys a little side view so you can see that when she comes down, that back leg comes pretty high up. So she's basically parallel with the ground. And she's keeping a nice little bend in that stance leg, that left leg there. And you can even see the rotation that she gets with that kettlebell a little better probably from this angle. Doing great. Another way to kind of bring this down a notch is to just get rid of that press with the kettlebell. So if we can just do a kettlebell deadlift without the press, nice way to just take a step back. Awesome. Little break, and we'll switch those legs. Five seconds. The timer's not ready. Ready? Begin. If you're anxious just to go right into it, you can just stand on that single leg for a little bit. And again, like always, I know Georgia, we always forget to take our shoes off like the first round, but this is a great one. Barefoot.
It is.
I know those of you at home, like I probably wouldn't have shoes on to begin
That's true,
with.
actually.
If I was just at home working out in my living room. So barefoot, just with your socks on, absolutely for this one. And notice that Georgia's bringing that knee pretty high up, so she's getting it at least to hip level, if not just a little bit higher, about an inch higher than her hip, and that's going to help activate her stance glute. If she kind of keeps it lower and kind of sagging there a little, she's not going to activate that stance glute quite as much. All right, little break.
My shoes off.
Before she forgets.
I would forget, that's why.
We're going into our banded walks next.
I don't know if you guys can tell I ran here. This is both a tan and a dirt line. I'll cover it up with this band here.
Ready, begin. Oh yeah, she hit the trails this morning.
I did.
You can definitely see the tan line, but you can see it all over you now.
Yep.
Alright, so again, Georgia's keeping a nice little squat in her stance. She's stepping side to side, and she's always keeping a little resistance in that band. That way our glutes are staying activated. And you don't need to take a giant step. If you have a stronger band and you're just taking smaller steps than Georgia is, that's fine. As long as we have that resistance and those glutes are working, we're achieving the goal of the exercise. Now, if you have 2 lighter bands at home, you can double up. You can use both those bands at once.
Whew, after the deadlifts. Feeling
Time.
it. Glutes.
All right, hopping onto the ground, we're going alternating V-ups.
I might try some weights.
All right, just going big.
We'll see.
2, 1, begin. So opposite arm to opposite leg. Again, you don't need those weights. They definitely make it more challenging, but it's challenging enough without the weights. If you don't have the weights at home, yep, I was gonna say you can simply keep those arms and those legs up off the ground like Georgia is doing now with the weights.
Oh gosh.
Halfway.
Okay.
Yep, so if you just get a little tired, you can switch between having those feet on the ground and not. Just make sure we're very controlled with the movement. Try not to make it a very jerky movement where you're just using a lot of power and momentum to thrust yourself up. The slower we can do it, the more controlled we are with this movement, the more benefit we're going to get through that core. And time. All right. If you were using those dumbbells, don't let them go. We're going into our dumbbell raise reverse fly. So a little bit of a couple different movements we're combining here into one. 2, 1, begin. So raising straight up, bringing them out to the side, and then down to your side, back up to the front.
The nice one about this is it doesn't take a ton of weight for these to be challenging.
No, not at all.
For
So
me, at
this is a
least.
perfect one for like at home if you have those soup cans or those Nalgene bottles, something like that. 5 pounds, I'm sure, is challenging enough. So even if you just have, 2 or 3 pounds, you're going to start to feel this one. Because it's really, it's working your arms, your shoulders, your chest a little. And again, same with a lot of our exercises, just make sure you're doing these nice and controlled. So Georgia's doing a great job. She's not having a lot of extra movement. She's engaging that core in her stance so she can be really smooth through that dumbbell raise and fly. She's not using momentum and arching her back. All right, burpee mountain climbers, everyone's favorite.
Who made me do these? I put them on the list.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you wrote the workout.
I did.
so.
I did. No one to blame.
3, 2, 1, begin. Hopping up, palms on the ground, hop your feet out, push up. Just a couple mountain climbers on each side, hop right back up. Now obviously we've advanced this burpee quite a bit, so we can take it down a notch by 1, getting rid of the push-up aspect of it, and 2, we can eliminate the mountain climber aspect of it. So we would just be doing a pretty traditional burpee. Now if we want to make it harder, you can obviously just go faster with this. You can do multiple push-ups at the bottom there, multiple mountain climbers, or you can simply add some weights. If you have ankle weights, if you want to hold those dumbbells that you have, make it harder on yourselves. Almost there. And time.
I'll finish the last
All right, we're gonna go into our cardio, which we're doing line hops for. We don't have a line, but Georgia can just imagine, or she can grab her band like she is now. All right, 3, 2, 1, begin. So we're gonna start by going front and back. and then we're going to go right into side to side hops after. So those calves should be burning towards the end. So they don't need to be big jumps. You'll notice she's just making nice little hops over that pretty small line. So we're not going for distance or height. We're just going for quick, explosive little movements up off the ground. Basically like you're jump roping, but we got a little more movement with it. And of course that heart rate's going to get elevated. Now if this is one that you are doing barefoot and maybe it's a little, we don't have the strongest feet sometimes because we're always wearing shoes, so if your plantar is acting up a little, you can. I find it helpful if I put my shoes back on sometimes. Ready, begin. Just gives my feet a little extra support, but I'm always working towards that goal of progressing to being able to do this completely barefoot.
Always round one. Like, how am I going to answer trivia questions?
But then the trivia makes it go by faster. Oh,
It does.
Hopefully it makes it go by faster at home too.
Yep.
Today we got some trivia. A lot of dates in time.
Oh,
some
no.
historical human events. So we'll see how well Georgia knows her history.
I think this one might be tough for me.
We'll see. It kind of was like an eye opener to how we remember events in history, or what events we remember. Almost there. And time. Georgia was kind of losing her line there at the end.
I was. Just jumping all over my line.
All right, we're gonna take a 2-minute break, and then we'll be back.
We're back, and we're barefoot. Well, I am.
Georgia is. All right, 15 seconds. We'll start barefoot, but nice and dirty.
That's right. It's a
Have to
pretty impressive line
wipe
right
your
there.
feet off after this.
Probably. We clean the turf, don't worry.
All right, 3, 2, 1, begin. Single leg corkscrew deadlifts. So I got every trivia question I have today has a date with it, a year that coincides with it. So I'll give you a little option. Do you want to work towards modern day, or do you want to work backwards?
Let's work towards modern day.
Work towards modern day.
I mean, either way, I think I'm going to do pretty terribly, so I don't know that it matters.
All right, so we'll start 1879.
Is that the answer?
No, well that's the year. 1879.
Yes, true.
Yes, it was a year. 1879. this invention was created that lit up the world?
The incandescent light bulb.
Yep. Do you know who invented it?
Who has the patent for it? What's his name? I can't think of Thomas Edison.
A little break. Yep. Yeah.
Patent for it.
Thomas Edison, 1879,
There's some
invented
conspiracy,
the
of course,
first
behind that.
successful light bulb. You're a big conspiracy person.
No, I'm not. I mean,
2, 1, begin. Alright.
okay. 1 for 1. This might be where I peaked.
The Wright brothers were the first to take flight in what year?
1888.
No.
Am I way off?
I mean,
1902.
that was closer.
1900.
No, not 1903. So
Oh,
1902,
that's
you were the
really
closest.
close. Okay.
Yep. Do you know what state?
Oh,
This is like on their license
I know.
plates.
Is it one of the Carolinas?
Yeah.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Yep.
Cool.
So you got that.
I only got that because of
That
the
was like a
license.
bonus on top of the question.
Right.
I don't even have that written down.
I'm gonna write it down.
Alright, 2, 1, time. Alright, little break. Remember, we're going into our banded walks now. So grab that band. Yep, and you can make it a little harder. George is putting it around her feet this time. So the lower down we have that band, the more we're activating the glutes and the less we're actually activating our TFL. Ready, begin. Alright. The first manned helicopter flight took place what year?
Okay, so 1903.
Just catching on, we're going in
First.
a little order.
Well, yeah, I have. This does help me a little bit. I'm gonna say 1923.
Nope,
Earlier.
earlier.
Oh, okay, so it didn't take him 20 years. That's what I was thinking.
I'll throw in, do you know what country this
Oh.
happened in as well?
Is it somewhere in Europe?
Yes.
Germany?
Nope.
France?
Yeah. So it happened in France.
In 1911.
Nope. 1907.
Whoa!
Which I was actually surprised at how close it was to the first
Yeah.
flight, like by, an airplane. Alright.
It's impressive.
Going into our alternating V-ups. Alright, these ones, hopefully you can get. Alright, 2, 1, begin.
Why do you say
When-
it like that?
When was the start of World War One?
World War One. Wasn't it around 1912-ish?
Ish. How big of an ish?
I'd say ish means 5 years.
Well then yes.
Okay.
So 1914
Okay.
is when World War One started. Do you know when the U.S. entered World War One?
1918?
Nope.
No.
1917.
Okay.
Do you know when World War One ended?
Oh, that's a better question. I don't know how long that took. I would say it ended in 1921.
No. 1918.
Oh, okay.
So, started in 1914, U.S. entered in 1917, war ended 1918.
Well, slightly better on World War II, but cool.
It's been a while since she's
Hey.
taken a history class.
Well, hey, I was within 3 years
Going
on
into
all of
our
those dates.
Dumbbell raise and reverse fly. 2, 1, begin.
I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty.
Alright, so we are at, just to refresh everybody, we're at 1918 right now, working towards modern day. The sale of alcohol was banned in the U.S. on what year?
Well, it was definitely in the roaring 20s. I'm gonna guess like 22, 23.
No? 1919.
Oh.
Do you know what constitutional amendment banned the sale of alcohol?
I I have no idea. I couldn't even put a guess in there, so I'm not going to.
I don't think I would have known this.
I mean, I know it's
gotten
not the
this
First
either.
Amendment, I know it's not the Second.
The 18th
18.
U.S. Constitutional Amendment, 1919. All right. 1920. The 20th U.S. Constitutional Amendment allowed this. Going into our burpees and mountain climbers. 2, 1, begin.
So they took out alcohol in the 19th Amendment, and then they added in this in the 20th. Oops, I forgot these. I don't know.
This allowed a particular population of people to do something.
Oh, women could vote.
Yep.
That's right.
20th Amendment, 1920.
It's a good way to remember that.
All right. 1927. What do you think the world's population was?
Well, this is after World War I, where a bunch of people died. I'm guessing 5.9 billion.
Nope.
6.2.
Less. You gotta go down. You gotta go
Oh! 5.5?
down. Down.
5.2?
Keep, go billions down.
Really?
Time.
No way!
1927, the world population reached 2 billion people.
Whoa!
Yeah. All right, we're going into our cardio. So we're doing those line hops.
Hey, what do you think about single side for 30 seconds each side?
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right, so we're gonna go single leg, and I'll try my best. Ready? Go. To tell you when to switch. All right. Charles Lindbergh was the first person to do what in 1927?
Does this have to do with flying?
Yes.
He flew, was it around the world or across the ocean?
And switch legs. So across an ocean. Do you know which ocean?
I'm assuming the Atlantic.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the first person to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean.
Cool.
So it said solo. I don't know if maybe there was, a bigger aircraft or something where multiple people, or if it, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But
I knew I
didn't really give
recognized his
specifics
name, so. Lindbergh.
Yep. All right. So switching.
I'll do the same thing on this.
Yep. We're gonna go lateral this time. Ready? Begin. And we're gonna switch halfway. 30 seconds. All right. Alexander Fleming accidentally discovered this in 1928.
This is a science thing, right?
Yes.
Oh, I know that name. In what year?
1927.
Let me think.
Try not to destroy your line.
It's really hard to think.
Switch
I do
legs.
single leg line jumps.
So very significant. Saved millions.
Oh, the cure for polio?
No, so not necessarily a cure for a
Or vaccine.
specific. So we're almost done here.
Good, because I don't know line anymore.
He accidentally discovered penicillin.
Penicillin. Okay.
5 seconds left. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Okay.
And time.
I
Yeah,
was
so he was known to have a really messy laboratory, and he went on vacation for a month, and he kind of had stacked up a bunch of his vials and stuff. And when he came back, there was a mold or a fungus or something growing, but it had killed whatever bacteria was in one of the vials, and he discovered that.
That's why the world's
Penicillin.
population has increased so quickly.
All
Go hand
right,
in
2
hand.
minutes.
It's like a animal.
We're back. We'll start in about 15 seconds. Corkscrew deadlifts. Alright, and we
We
left
have a
off.
lot of time to cover between 19.
Yeah, I know, we're gonna have to like roll through these. Alright. 4 seconds, we're starting back at 1928. Ready, begin. So 1928, penicillin was invented, and this tragic event also happened in the US.
The Chicago Fire?
Ooh!
Okay, I'll
No, but I think that was closer to like 1915.
Oh. Was it a fire?
That was that. I almost put that on here.
It's a huge event, and I studied fire science, so like,
That's not the answer.
so I clearly don't remember what I said. It was a while ago. You said it was close. Like, is it fire related?
No.
Okay.
I was just impressed that you kind
Knew
of
about
said
that?
Yeah.
28. That's kind of a vague question, Craig.
I don't think it is because it led to
Oh, the Depression?
the Great Depression.
The thing that led to the Great Depression. That's what happened. Final answer.
The New York Stock Exchange crashed.
Yeah.
Alright, little break. You can balance on that foot for a couple extra seconds. Alright.
I always forget that the Depression was that late into the 20s. Man, no alcohol and then no money.
I know,
That's
wonder
rough.
if people were depressed. Ready? Begin. Alright. 1939. This event started that helped drag the US out of the Great Depression.
Probably that's around the time World War II started.
Yep, World War II. But the US didn't enter World War II
No.
until what year?
For so long. 45?
Nope,
Was it earlier or later?
it was earlier.
Okay. 42 or 43?
Earlier.
Really? 41?
41.
Okay.
Yep. Do you know what event
Oh, well,
Kind of
Pearl Harbor. Of
really
course.
triggered us? Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Do you remember what date Pearl Harbor's on?
December. Oh, I want to say 8th, but it's not, is it?
You always say 8th. We
It's
have
the
to have video
9th.
saying 8th too. And then saying the 9th, it's not the 9th.
Dang it.
My birthday's on the 7th.
The
December 7th.
Every time.
You always do that. You're like 8th, and then you go 9th instead of 7th.
Right when I was like saying 9th, I was like, I'm going the wrong direction. Okay, I was within a day.
Alright, 2, 1, begin banded lateral walks. Alright, we gotta get rolling. Alright. What year did World War II end?
$42?
45.
I knew 45 was
Because,
important
obviously when
somewhere.
the first atomic bomb was
Okay.
dropped. In 1947, these two countries gained independence.
Is this associated with?
No.
I don't know. That'll just be a shot in the dark, probably.
India and Pakistan
Okay, yeah.
officially became countries. 1947.
Wow.
1948. This person was assassinated. He was the leader of the Indian independence movement against British rule.
His name start with an M?
Yes.
Mahatma?
What's his
Gandhi?
last name? Gandhi. Yep.
I was like,
I was
I'm
really
pretty
just
sure
looking for
that's
Gandhi.
it.
But yes. Alright, 2, 1, begin. Alternating V-ups. Yep. Gandhi. Alright. 1955, the US started this war.
55?
Mm-hmm.
Was this the Cold War?
Nope.
Oh, I don't know. I thought that was going on then.
I don't have anything about the Cold War in here, I don't believe.
What is it?
The Vietnam War.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I know, you're kicking yourself. You're like, how did I get that wrong?
Guys, I have no blood flow to my brain right now.
All right. 1959, the world population reaches
59. What was the last one?
2 billion.
At what year?
1927.
4.8.
And time.
4.8 billion.
Nope. 3 billion people.
Okay.
All right, we're going into our dumbbell raise reverse fly. So it took about 22 years for a population to gain 1 billion people. Ready? Begin.
You know, I keep forgetting how exponential graphs work.
How math works.
How math works.
All right. In what year was the Berlin Wall built?
Oh, when was it built? It was probably built, that was during the Cold War, so that's what I was thinking of, and that was more in the late 40s, so I'm gonna say it was built in 42, not?
Well, we're in 1959 now.
It was built that late?
I double checked this because I was like, wow, really?
I mean, yeah, there was still like, it was probably enforced for a while and then it was actually built. So it's built in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine it. I don't know, 64?
61.
Wow. Okay.
1961.
I've been to it.
Time.
I know when I came down, if that's one of your questions. That was, what, 89?
All right, going into our mountain climber burpees. A little extra rest here. I forgot to. Actually, so okay, fair warning. So I have about like 6 more
Okay.
questions, and I only got to 1975 before I
Whoa.
filled up my whole page, and I was like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
kind of cut it there. So maybe we'll save 1975 to
Ah.
present for a little later. All right, ready? Begin. Now you guys got a real long break there.
It felt long.
All right. Who was assassinated in 1963?
Probably more than one person.
Who?
Was it our
It was
president?
a U.S. figure. Yeah.
Was that JFK?
Yep. JFK, 1963. All right. 1967, the U.S., Great Britain, and Soviet Union signed a treaty to ban what? The use of what?
Nuclear weapons?
Yes. In space. Not on Earth, just in space.
Can't attack aliens.
Shoot, I really messed up the timer now.
Well, it's okay, because now...
Alright, oh yeah, we're
the
going into
Tabata.
our Tabata round. So, here's what we're gonna do. We're going 20 seconds all out,
All out.
and then quick 10-second break, another 20 seconds, 10-second break, 20 seconds on, 10-second break. We're going banded bicycle crunches, lunge jumps. Yep, so alternating those jumps. We're going plank jacks, so plank position, but we're hopping those feet out constantly, back and forth, and then we're going ice skaters, so hopping from one foot to the other. Yep, and we can get a little rhythm because we're trying to like have that heart rate up. So we can get some good rhythm going here. All right, so that's
I will not face the bottom of my feet towards the camera.
All right, 20 seconds. Ready? Begin. Banded bicycle crunches. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this timer.
That's going to be really hard. I can do the timer.
No, I got it. All right. 2, 1, little break. All right, we're going into our lunge jumps. Martin Luther King was assassinated in 1968. What other political figure was assassinated? Ready, begin.
Assassinated.
Yes.
Not an attempt.
Not an attempt.
Oh, Malcolm X?
Nope.
Was it in the U.S.?
He is related to JFK.
Oh, Bobby.
Yep.
Robert.
Robert. Yep. And time. All right, 10-second break. We're going into our plank jacks. Remember, we're going as fast as we can. 3, 2, 1, begin. Just go all out. Alright, Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon in what year?
74?
Nope,
I have no idea.
sooner. 1969.
Oh.
Alright. Nixon was forced to resign what year because of what scandal?
The Watergate scandal.
Time. And keep a little break. We're going into our ice skaters. And begin.
Watergate scandal. I'm gonna guess 71.
74.
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
Alright. And the world population reaches what in 1974?
I feel like these are the questions I have done the worst at.
And time.
How long since the last one?
So, alright, back into it. Ready, begin. Alright. So we were at 3 billion in 1959. Now we're at what in 1974?
5.3 billion.
Nope,
How far off am I?
4 billion.
Oh my gosh, I don't understand math.
And time. You want a little extra? You had like 3 extra seconds there. I'm really bad at this. Alright,
You're about as bad as that as I am at guessing world population.
1975, what war ends? Ready, begin.
Vietnam.
Vietnam. So, the Vietnam War, so the world population increased by 1 billion people, 25% increase before the Vietnam War ended.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. Ready? Alright, time.
I knew that was too long. This is hard. It is really hard.
Ready, and begin.
Oh, that was not 10 seconds. Maybe it was.
The timer's gonna be like all messed up on the screen. That's all I got. We're at 1975. Vietnam War ended. Time.
When my husband and I went to Europe, we went to Germany, so we got to see the Berlin Wall and all that.
Ready, begin. Ice skaters.
And I realized how little I knew. So one of the nights we were there, we were on vacation, but we stayed up and watched like a 5-hour World War II documentary and like looked up all this stuff. But it's cool to learn about it when you're there.
And time.
Awesome work, guys. That ends. I hope you enjoyed the Tabata. That was for you.
We'll get better at it.
Yeah, we'll get better.
We'll get better at the timing at least. Alright, awesome job. We'll see you guys next time.